Good morning, guys. Yesterday I got given several boxes of Seagull outboard spares, several bottom ends of engines. Someone's taken the trouble to put some bubble wrap around the piston and rings, so taking a bit of care. Numerous flywheels, carburetors, various bits and pieces. These were made in their millions, and these old tanks, this is a brass tank with dents in. You know, that shouldn't be there. But they made of brass, and they're so much better than metal ones that rust. Look at the state of some of these. Well, I wouldn't use that, but again, it's a brass. I mean, if you're going to make something of brass and put that amount of work into it, it's worth saving. So can you do anything about this? Well, yes, you can. It's an awful lot of work, but it can be completely restored, as can most things. If I live long enough, I'll do I'll do a video on how you can tackle this problem. These are all soldered together, so with heat they will come apart, and with a sandbag and some dollies and a ball peen hammer and, you know, a little bit of patience, you can knock all this out and then respray them. I don't believe in polishing them up, that's silly. But anyway, there's loads of work in there, but whether I'll get round to it, I don't know. Pardon me. Anyway, as I say, just having a little play this morning, and several months ago I said I'm going to have a declutter and clear up my workshop. Well, I'm working down to this little corner at the moment. Things are getting worse here. It's no good. But I genuinely am decluttering and getting rid of things. I'm never going to use them all. Anyway, just to add to it, yesterday's pan across. Yesterday I bought this little compressor. It was on eBay. It's filthy dirty. But I could see it had BTH on the label on the end of the motor, so I knew that stood for British Thompson Hewson. So I thought, well, they make good motors. Got to be a bit of a detective when you see these things. And I looked at this and I thought, that's a cast base, that's cast iron. So we're not looking at some Chinese plastic crap, are we? So immediately I thought, well, this is a piece of oldish quality kit. And on this end we've got a vacuum pump, and it's an Edwards high vacuum pump, and they were based in Crawley, Sussex, UK. So it's a compressor and vacuum. Anyway, I got it for £8, and I thought, well, that's good, it's really heavy. I've just undone these screws here because I'm just going to give it a clean up. But the lead looks as though it's coming out of the back here. Not too clever. Working order, tested. Well, I usually, before I plug any of these things in, check them for safety and earth leads. Well, this one is on. But I put it in, and of course it didn't work, did it? But that didn't deter me. So I put a meter across the leads, and there's no continuity. There's no switch anyway. I thought, I wonder if the fuse is gone. So I took the top off the plug, and there's no fuse in it. So I put a fuse in it, and away it went. But I don't like using things like this. I've already pre-undone these to take that off. And there's a little fan coupler. Let me see if I can get in there a bit. A bit further. Well, you can see the... So we're going to clean this up. Oh, I quite like that little... There's a dog clutch there with... I don't know if you can see, get my hands out of the way. That's better. There's like a sort of a dog clutch there with cushioning. That's nice. I suspect this is a rotary vane. There's nothing mentioned about oil or anything. But this will clean up and I do like motors with little, come round there, with little oily pots. I mean, you just don't get that nowadays, do you? Anyway, we'll clean this up. I just put it in a tray with a drop of petrol and a brush, and we'll clean it up and possibly replace the lead. And I've got a project for this more shortly. Here I've put the compressor in a little tray, and I'm going to use a drop of petrol. Petrol, being very volatile, will evaporate, and with a brush clean things up. Try to avoid getting petrol right into the windings. Otherwise, when you cut the switch on, you'll be in for a surprise. No, that was a joke, guys. Because this is volatile, it will all evaporate. Just make sure that it's put outside and allowed to dry for the day before you attempt switching it on. But I can see it's gonna come up lovely. It's gonna be a pleasure to handle it. Anyway, I'll carry on with this for a wee bit, and we'll see how we get on. Well, it's cleaned up very nicely, and I've put a new lead on it. I thought that would be advisable, and oiled the bearings, and you can see it's cleaned up very, very nicely. I've had the gauze inlet outlet filters out, and with the workshop compressor blown out these, and they've all cleaned up really nicely. So I'm very pleased with that. As I say, I've got a couple of projects I think this might be suitable for. Just slightly nip them up. That's good enough. I'll plug it in. Switch on. About the right volume. I've got to put the cover over the top so I don't catch my fingers. But it's very silent. It's very nice. I'm pleased with that. One of the uses I'm thinking of putting this to is a little spray gun here. Durin tools. Due to the little urats there, I suspect that it's German, and that's the little spray gun. Dirt cheap on eBay, but I thought the castings were superb, absolutely superb, especially for the silly money I paid for it. So, and I think the spec is maximum 30 psi, air consumption up to 8 cubic foot a minute. I should think that's probably within the capabilities of that. So that would be quite a handy little tool for small spray jobs, touch-up jobs with gravity. Quite like that. Anyway, that's the plan. Well, that's one project, and because this is a good pump as well. Let's see if I can get into that sticker or mark. As I say, it's an Edwards. We go any closer? Yeah. There you go. RB4 because it's a good pump and it pulls down to quite a low pressure, if pressure is the right word when it comes to vacuum. I was thinking of making a little plastic vacuum forming machine. I made them in the past using vacuum cleaners and this sort of thing. Well, you've got the volume, but you haven't got the suck, so to speak. So that's possibly another project there. Because I'm looking for projects, guys.